All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. That's case number 463 on the calendar in the matter of Baum versus Baum. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Baum, the defendant is your former wife, and it is your claim that she filed a false charge of violating a protective order against you. You want to be compensated for being taken into custody and those false charges. And Ms. Baum said she did not, that you did, in fact, violate a protective order, and she did not accuse you of any crime. She just merely did what she was supposed to do. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When were you and the defendant married?
1984.
And when were you divorced?
1999.
And you have 2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are they?
17 and 16.
When you divorced, who got custody of the children?
I did.
Was that after a trial or by agreement?
Trial.
And these are your 2 girls?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did the girls live with you?
Up till 2003.
So far, are those dates correct?
No, ma'am.
He got custody of the children in 1999?
Yes, ma'am.
And they lived with him until what year?
2002.
What month?
November.
What happened in 2002?
I received a call from him, and he said Katrina wanted to come live with me, so I went and got her. Elizabeth stayed with her dad.
Okay, so Katrina, one child came to live with you in November. That's
yes,
Katrina. Did there come a time when Elizabeth went to live with her mother?
Only through why we're here. She went to do visitation. At that point in time, her mother went to the court and filed a protective order saying that I gave her a black eye.
When was that?
August of 2002. No, 2003, I'm sorry.
And so from August of 2003 until what time, what month and year did Elizabeth stay with you?
December of 2004.
And what happened in December of 2004?
On December 1st, Katrina and I got into an argument that morning, and the girls proceeded to go to school. Elizabeth went to school and decided she didn't want to be with me anymore, so she left school grounds without anybody's permission, got a ride to her dad's work, and she's been there ever since.
When did you find out that she was missing?
Like 30 minutes. I called the school because I kind of had an idea. I had called Elizabeth's cell phone.
Well, if you had an idea, then something more happened. Then you had an argument with Katrina, Miss Baum.
No, ma'am, it was just an argument.
Well, then why, if you had an argument with one child, why would you think that something happened to your other child?
Because Elizabeth went to the school and told them that she wanted Child Protective Services called.
Against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so well, that would give you a clue.
But it was unfound.
Just a second. But that would give you a clue that there was trouble. And that all happened on December 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
Step up. You're 17, Elizabeth?
Yes, ma'am.
You live with your father?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened in your house December 1st?
December 1st, my sister, we got ready for school and came downstairs, and my sister and my biological mother had gotten into an argument. My biological mother told my sister that she was going to strangle her, and that was not the first time she has put her hands on my sister. And so we went to school. She called my cell phone when we were at the bus stop.
Well, what did you say to your mother when she said that? Did you say anything?
I just looked at her and was like, "No, you're not." And then so we left the house and went to the bus stop, and she called my cell phone and told me to tell my sister to come back home because she has to pack her things and leave. Then we got on the bus and she called my cell phone back, and Katie was on the bus with me. She didn't go home, so she was like, "I'm coming to pick her up from school to bring her back home to pack her things and leave." So when I told Katie that, she started crying, and we got to school.
So far, is that right, Katie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
So we got to school, and the senior administrator was upstairs, and she saw that Katie was crying, and she asked me what happened. And I was telling her what happened. Then she took us down to the guidance office, and the resource officer is the one that said he was going to call Child Protective Services.
And who called your father?
I did later that day.
Where were you?
It was right after 3rd block, and...
You mean in school?
Right. And I had a voicemail on my phone, a vulgar voicemail, saying that she was going to kill me too, and that everything was going to come back on me.
You mean your it was from your mother?
Right. Yes, ma'am. She was going to be home when I got home, and I was going to get what's coming to me. So after I listened to that message, I called my father and told him what happened. And I guess at that point, it was just, I couldn't take it anymore.
Now, Mr. Baum, who contacted you, sir? The police? Or did you contact the police that
Well,
day?
she called me at work, and I knew I had a protective order against me.
When was that protective order granted?
I have it here in my documents.
Can I have it, please?
Here's a series of protective orders from where it started to where I got custody. But that particular day,
Just 1 second, sir. Why did you file for an initial protective order, Mrs. Baum?
When I picked Elizabeth up, she had a black eye.
When was that?
August of 2003.
Yes.
And I asked her what happened. She told me a speaker fell on her. I didn't believe that. So we talked more throughout the weekend, and then she told me her dad punched her for lying and having people in his house that stole some stuff from him. So I went to the magistrate. A protective order was issued. We went to court, and the judge told him that he had to take an anger management class.
You went to the police, Mrs. Baum. Is that right, on December the 1st or the 2nd?
The first.
And do you have the application that you filled out for the violation of the protective order?
There is no application.
What did you tell the magistrate?
I told the magistrate, I showed him a copy of the current protective order that says that he may have telephone contact with the children and physical contact that I approve. I told the magistrate that Elizabeth was at his house. She does not have permission to be there. If she wants to live with her father, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Just a minute. What you told the judge, according to you,
The magistrate.
That's a judge.
Oh, okay.
Was that here's the protective order. My daughter is there, and she's not there with my permission.
Correct.
That's what you told him.
Yes, ma'am.
Period.
Yes, ma'am.
Based upon that, he issued an arrest warrant.
Yes, ma'am.
How come you didn't tell the judge, Miss Baum, that your daughter had run away, that she had called Child Protective Services against you? All of that you knew by that time.
Your Honor, I did. I told the magistrate the whole story of the whole day.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You went to file a violation of a protective order, and you knew your daughter wasn't in danger. You knew she wasn't at risk. You knew you had had a fight with her that day. You knew that she had gone to the school and caused them to call Child Protective Services. And knowing all of that, for some bizarre reason, you elected, instead of going to the family court to try to get the matter resolved, somehow in the family court, letting the situation cool down for a day, seeing how you could resolve it with your daughter, you decided to go in to file a violation of a 6-month-old protective order. And I don't understand what was your motivation.
Your Honor, my issue wasn't with Elizabeth at all that day. It was with my other one.
I understand that your initial problem was with your other daughter, but it was Elizabeth who spoke to the guidance counselor. It was Elizabeth who caused them to contact Child Protective Services, who ultimately contacted you and started all the trouble for you. And you reacted to that, Mrs. Baum, by going to court, and instead of letting things settle down with your 2 girls, going to court and making trouble for your ex-husband.
No,
That's exactly what you did. Oh, yes, that is exactly what you did. Your former husband is suing you for $2,000. He said he was arrested. How long were you taken into custody for, sir?
I was released that day. But if I may add on that?
Yeah.
Prior to that, my daughter called me about 12:30 that day. And because where they live is in a separate city, I told her to call the Virginia Beach Police Department to find out what they would have her do. And they said, come see me. So she got a ride to home, and she got a ride from home to my work. At that point, I got a couple calls on my cell phone. I'm not sure if I responded to a call, if I called her back and said, hey, she's here with me, but do not come up here and cause any trouble. After work, we'll settle this. We'll go through it and find out what's going on and get to the bottom of this. Later that night, she called her Elizabeth up. My ex called her Elizabeth up and said, I want your cell phone and your key. She came over to the house and got the cell phone and her key to the house.
Did you go to his house?
I went to the parking lot next door at like 7 o'clock at night to pick up the cell phone that's in my name and my house key.
But not your daughter?
No, she didn't.
No, why? No, because?
Your Honor, I can't pick her up and put her in the car.
Because she didn't want to go home with you.
That's right. So,
and are you telling me, are you suggesting to me that this magistrate before whom you appeared to get a protective order, you told him that your daughter didn't want to go home with you, she was okay with her father, and you went and you got your cell phone because you were worried she would make telephone calls? You weren't worried about her. Worried that she would make telephone calls.
Your Honor,
You're absolutely right, sir. It was vicious and it was vindictive.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
After leaving the hospital, Mr. Osborne walked to a nearby Pizza Hut to smoke a cigarette and drink a pop.
Did you do that, Mr. Osborne?
Yes, I did.
With a collapsed lung?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. West Baum says his ex-wife, Lisa Baum, falsely accused him of violating a protective order. West says because of Lisa's actions, he was arrested.
Now, your motivation for going to the judge for a violation of protective order, I believe, was vicious and vindictive and had absolutely nothing to do with the safety of your child. Because your actions that day belie the fact that it had anything to do with the safety of your child, because you went there alone to get your key and your cell phone. And if you actually had fear for your child's safety, you would have called the police and said, please come with me. I have to go get my daughter. She is in danger. You didn't do that.
I did do that. We went to his employment to get her with the police.
They had me arrested.
Just a second.
No, to pick up my daughter. I didn't care what happened to him.
Just a second. And what happened when you went there?
They weren't there. Your Honor, I didn't get any help from the police.
You didn't need any help getting the key and the cell phone, only your daughter. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount requested, $2,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Now I married a beautiful wife, and she has a problem with it.
I left messages with him, you know, call me, let's work this out, and I don't get any reply. I think he's afraid of what his wife will say.
She didn't want me, and she didn't want nobody else to have me.
No, that's not true.
It's the first time that I've gotten justice in the court system for a long time. I feel good.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Osborne versus Lacey. Step forward, please.
Truck driver Charles Osborne is suing his former friend, writer Michael Lacey, for injuries due to a car accident. Charles says he was a backseat passenger when Michael choked on coffee and drove his car off the road.
Mr. Osborne.
Yes, ma'am.
You were a passenger in a car that was being driven by Mr. Lacey, according to your complaint. I don't know where you gentlemen were on your way to, but you're going to tell me you were sitting in the back seat. According to what I read, there was an accident, you were injured, and you want to be compensated for your medical bills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Mr. Lacey says this was an accident and you weren't wearing your seatbelt and whatever. Take care of your own medical expenses.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing in Mr. Lacey's car?
Mr. Lacey had been commandeered by my business partner, Frank Owen, to drive us to Rushville, to small claims court.
Who had to be in small claims court?
Mr. Owen did.
And what happened, sir?
We were eastbound on Route 52, and Mr. Lacey had just passed a car doing about 58, 60 miles an hour. And he had taken a drink of coffee at the time, and when he did, he choked on the coffee. He held the accelerator to the floor. We went off to the side of the road. Frank was in the front seat. He tried to grab the wheel to hold it on the road. And I had pulled my seatbelt off quick and tried to jump over the seat to grab the wheel. But at that time when we went off the road, and the car ended up going over some ravines and went catty-corner into a telephone pole, which hit like the rear door. And I slammed the door, knocked the power window buttons out of the door, broke the window out with my head. And the next time we finally stopped dead, and the airbag went off, and Mr. Lacey turned around to me and he said, I believe we were in an automobile accident.
I believe you were right. Can I see those pictures? I'm anxious to see.
Sure.
So I assume that
It's the same paper. So.
It's the same paper.
Okay.
Can't believe I'm going to get paid for reading the paper. So this says that both passengers, both you and Mr. Owen, were taken to the hospital. Is that right?
Yes.
What were the extent of your injuries?
I had a collapsed lung, and I still have the problem. I can move my head over this far on the left, and I can come all the way over on the right, but I still can't move it completely right.
Well, what would you have to move it all the way over for? What particular exercise?
I probably wouldn't unless I was looking at
I'm just curious.
I don't know, Your Honor.
Wait. Doctor, it hurts when I do this.
No,
Don't
I know.
do that.
No, I'm just curious. What is it in your life, in your work or social life or whatever, that would require you to go all the way over on you?
Well, I'm a truck driver, and I have to leave my head out the window a lot of times to see the cars.
Well, you go out like this. You don't go down like this, right?
Well, I go like this to
Yeah, you go right just like that. That's enough.
Okay. All right.
Seems to me that's enough.
Okay.
So you don't have any long-term disability. You had some short-term problems. Let me
Yes.
see that medical bills, please.
Okay.
And what the doctor had to say about you.
Have an ambulance bill and a hospital bill and a doctor bill.
Okay.
But the one's gone into collection, so but they're all together, same dates.
Okay, Mr. Lacey, why shouldn't you be responsible for this? Didn't you have insurance?
I did not have insurance. It had lapsed.
Oh, Mr. Lacey, that's a big problem for you, sir.
Yes, I realize that, Your Honor.
Well, then why don't you think that you personally should be responsible for this? You were at fault in this accident.
I was at fault in the accident, but the plaintiff here says that he was injured and he was out of the car walking around when I regained consciousness from the airbag and did not exhibit any signs of trauma until the ambulance arrived. And then when the ambulance did arrive, he immediately went into a convulsed state and, you know, made it sound like there was something wrong. And the rest of us were all walking around. He had been walking around.
Well, Mr. Owen was taken to the hospital, sir.
Mr. Owen was not taken to the hospital.
According to this, he was.
He was not.
Well, he was. And you're responsible. And if he wanted to go and get himself checked out, that's his prerogative. Mr. Osborne, you're suing for $5,000, sir. Why?
The hospital bills were $2,100.
Correct.
I was off work for 3 weeks, and I'm a percentage driver. I'm paid average about $820 a week.
Well, you have to show me something that indicates to me, sir, that you received medical treatment during the course of those 3 weeks, and the reason that you were out of work for 3 weeks was as a result of your injuries. Do you have medical records?
No, I don't. I didn't go see the doctor afterwards.
Well, that's unfortunate, sir. If I were out of work for 3 weeks, I would go see a doctor. You want to say anything?
Yes, I would, Your Honor. After leaving the hospital, Mr. Osborne walked to a nearby Pizza Hut to smoke a cigarette and drink a pop.
Did you do that, Mr. Osborne?
Yes, I did.
With a collapsed lung?
I didn't walk like I was jogging the 500, but I made it over there.
I mean, is what you're telling me, with a collapsed lung, you went over, you had a drink and a cigarette?
I tried to have the cigarette. I had to drive.
All right. Mr. Lacey, you are responsible minimally for his medical bills. Do you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise was an accident, and I don't think there was anything irresponsible other than the fact that perhaps you were drinking a cup of coffee and you choked on it. Maybe you should just concentrate on your driving. So you are responsible for his medical bills, not $5,000 for his being out of work, for his being uncomfortable, for whatever else. I don't have any proof of that. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,100. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He told me
11-year-old Chardacia Hopkins and 9-year-old Shamara Hopkins scratched it with rocks.
Again, this is case number 406 on the calendar in the matter of Hodges versus Smith. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Young ladies, have a seat.
Tell me your name.
Micaiah Hodges.
How old are you, Micaiah?
I'm 10 years old.
10? What's your name?
Shadeja Hopkins. Shamira Hopkins.
How old are you?
11.
And you?
9.
Stand up with your mother. You too. Are you a friend of Makia's?
No.
Why not?
Because she's always, I'm sticking her middle finger up at somebody. She's always getting smart and all her ass.
I didn't understand that. I didn't understand what you said, so you have to say it slower.
Okay. She's always putting her eyes at people. She's always trying to get smart. And
Putting her eyes on people?
Rolling her eyes.
Rolling her eyes.
Yes.
She's rolling her eyes.
Rolling. Oh.
I'm trying to understand what your daughter is saying. She's not always going to have you as an interpreter.
I understand, Your Honor.
Good. How is she getting smart?
she's always sticking her finger up at people. She's always saying cuss words and stuff at people.
Really? So what do you do to her when she does that to you?
Pulled her hair.
Now, she didn't pull your hair, did she? Did she pull your hair before you pulled her hair? Make sure you tell the truth. No. Now, were you alone when you pulled her hair?
No.
Who were you with?
My sister and my cousin.
And where were you when you pulled her hair?
At her house.
What were you doing at her house?
It was in front of her house with her friends, and she was supposed to be in her backyard, and she came in front.
What did you go to her house for?
We play in front of her house.
Why don't you play in front of your house?
Because we be with our friends and...
Because you were trying to annoy her?
No.
Which one of you scratched Mrs. Hodges' car? Raise your hand.
Neither.
Who scratched her car? Well, that's what this case is about. This case is about your two daughters who have been harassing this little girl, right?
Well, that's
Seems to me, based upon 3 minutes worth of questioning, that that's what's going on here, and I'm only getting a part of the story. Because rolling of the eyes does not equate to putting your hands on somebody else, right?
Well, another child might feel a little differently about being harassed in the window and out the door and out the window when her
What?
mother's not paying attention
What?
to her rolling her eyes, sticking up her middle finger. That's right,
Apple
to
doesn't
another
fall far from
child.
the tree. That's what we got. We got an apple that doesn't fall far from the tree. We've got a mother who doesn't say to her children, you don't put your hands on somebody else, even if they roll their eyes or if they say bad words to you, which I doubt happened.
Well, that
Which I
doesn't-
doubt happened. But when you have a mother who condones it, then you have trouble. That's what happens. So it's up to you to take control of Smarty Pants and her sister over here and explain to them that you don't put your hands on another person unless they touch you first and you're trying to defend yourself. And if you can't teach that to your daughters, I guarantee you won't be visiting them at their college graduations. Guaranteed.
Well, that's what
Guaranteed.
you say.
That's what I know.
Well,
and I've been in the business a lot longer than you've been alive.
Well, that's what you say.
That's what I know. Not what I say, what I know.
Who said that I haven't taught them?
Well, you just said to me, that's the way a child reacts if somebody rolls
Well,
their
I said
eyes.
that's a child reaction, but I have talking to my children. They had no business putting their hands on a little girl.
Fine, then that's all you had to say to me.
After all, I am a mother of 6, and I do know how to raise children.
Well, did you punish them for doing what they did?
Yes, I did.
Tell me how you punished them.
You see, I would make them stay in, and they wouldn't be allowed to play at their girlfriend's house, who does live down there in the neighbor's block.
Well, that sounds like you're making it up as you're going along.
Oh,
Mrs.
well.
Hodges, let's get on to the car. What happened with the car?
It was in August. I heard laughing outside of my door, and it was a long time with these girls coming down to the house. They went into my yard to get my daughter. That day they were kicking my door and screaming, and they were like, "Your kids are ugly. I hope you drop your little ugly baby." At that time, my baby was 3 weeks old, and I went to my daughter's window, and it's at the front of the house. I looked out the window and I saw them out there. I didn't know what they were doing, and then I saw them run. It was the next morning that I came out and saw that they had scratched the car.
You have a police report?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it?
I also have pictures of the car.
Do you have a follow-up report from the officer?
Yeah, what he did was he spoke to...
No. What I want to know is if there was a follow-up report indicating that the officer spoke to Mrs. Smith and her girls. The officer come to speak to you?
Yes, he did.
And your girls?
He spoke to me.
Did he speak to the girls?
Yes, he did speak to one of the girls.
Which one did he speak to?
He spoke to Shardasia.
Did you tell the police officer that you had scratched the car?
No.
Did you tell the police officer who scratched the car?
No, ma'am.
Did you tell the police officer you were there when somebody scratched the car?
Yes.
What did they scratch the car with?
I think it was a rock.
You think it was a rock? I want you to hold up your hand and tell me how big the rock was.
About this big.
What color was the rock? Black, white, brown?
Brown.
Rough edges, or was it smooth?
Rough edges.
Rough edges. Now, so we know that the rock was about this size, brown, and it had rough edges on it. Now, who was carrying it?
My cousin.
Your cousin who?
Tashina.
And who used it to scratch the car?
This girl named Justice.
Justice has a last name?
I don't know her last name.
Do you know her last name?
No, I don't.
Now, did you tell that to your mother?
No.
Is this the first time you're telling your mother that your cousin had the rock and Justice was the one who used the rock? Is this the first time you're telling your mother that? Your mother's looking like, yes, that this is the first time she's hearing that from you.
Yes.
You think that I believe you?
No.
You're right. And you want to know something else? Your mother doesn't believe you either.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
They're traveling in a pack, and they're doing the wrong thing, and they are being encouraged by pack behavior and your behavior. And if you don't take it seriously, I'm telling you, college, no, detention facility, yes.
And later today,
Did your mother always tell when the children were telling a lie or telling the truth? She's smart?
Not all the time.
I am.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gianna Hodges says her neighbors, 11-year-old Shardasia Hopkins and 9-year-old Shamara Hopkins, scratched her car with rocks. Gianna also says the girls have been terrorizing her daughter, Micaiah.
Young lady, you are always in life going to meet people that are smarter than you are. Because I know that you think that you're a hotshot. You're 11 years old and you know a lot, but you know nothing. So when you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. When you make up stories and you lie, you have to have a very good memory. Do you understand that concept?
Yes.
I don't know whether you do, but your mother does. Can I see pictures of the damage to the car, please?
Well, Your Honor, may I say something?
Sure.
I seen the car. and I stopped and I knocked on Mrs. Hodges' door. And I spoke to her at that time, my daughter and I, and she showed me an estimate, or told me that she had an estimate for her car for $255. She said I was going to get another estimate, and the estimate was cheaper estimate. So I said, okay.
$255 is pretty. Listen,
okay,
I'm looking at the damage here.
Well, that's what I would have, thought.
Just a minute. So what you're telling me, Miss Smith, because it's not what you put in your answer, you don't have a problem with paying for the damage because you believe your daughter did do the damage.
Of course I have a problem with
Well,
paying.
that's not, then the damage is not the issue right now.
Okay, I understand that. But
right now we have to, there are two stages to this process.
Yes,
First, we have to figure out who did the damage. And I am satisfied that she did the damage. And so are you. So are you. She knows we have a rock this size, brown in color with ragged edges that was used by somebody by the name of Justice, whose name she doesn't remember. And it's the first time since this whole thing happened that she's telling you this story, because before that she told you, I don't know anything. I was there with my friends. I didn't do anything. I mean, coming into a courtroom setting and dealing with somebody who's been around the block a couple of times, I usually get to the bottom of it. The only problem is she's not going to say to you right now, it was me. So she'll make up a story. That's why we went to the rock first. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, now, the issue is not what amount is going to be awarded as a result of the damage. The first issue is who did the damage? Because she didn't see who did the damage. She saw a bunch of kids out there. These two girls were near her car, which is why she came to you, which is why she called the police.
Who did the damage if
she
didn't see who done it?
Just a second. Let me tell you something. She said she had seen the girls and she sent the police to your house. Even if I find that she didn't see the girls, I just got a confession from your daughter. You're not following it, but your daughter just confessed to me that the person with the brown rock with jagged edges about this size, but in somebody else's hand, did the damage to the car. And if you believe that I am going to make this award, listen to me.
My daughter.
Listen.
I believe my daughter.
Well, you do?
Yes.
Did you believe her when she told you she didn't do anything?
Well, she was with her friends.
No.
She was with her friends, and because a little girl don't have any friends,
did you believe her when she said
she has 10 or 15 friends?
Oh, college you're never going to see. Can I see the estimate, please?
Well, I won't.
No, you won't.
Could I say something, please?
You won't. A detention facility maybe you'll see, but college you won't see. Say nothing, please. There will always be bullies. There will always be people that travel in packs that do the wrong thing. Right now, that's what your girls are doing. They're being bullies, and they're bullying this young lady. They're bullying her whether they like her, whether they don't like her, whether they think she's good-looking, her mother's good-looking, her baby is good-looking. Whatever it is, they're traveling in a pack, and they're doing the wrong thing, and they are being encouraged by pack behavior and your behavior, because you're not taking what they do seriously. This is unpleasant, amoral, criminal behavior. And if you don't take it seriously, I'm telling you, college, no, detention facility, yes. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,300. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Like Judge Judy said, they roam as a pack, which is why my daughter is not out there with them.
She calls it a pack. I call it my daughter having friends.
My mother has taught me better than to do those kind of things.
They're out late, they're making noise, they're doing, things, and I don't know if it's not just those two.
No, my children are never out of the house after 8 o'clock.
They actually need to be taught to, not to damage someone's property.
It doesn't matter. My children did not do it. They're innocent.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Johnson versus Birch. Step forward.
20-year-old student Kimberly Johnson is suing her former friend, 22-year-old retail manager Michael Birch, for bailing him out of jail when he was arrested for unpaid traffic tickets.
Ms. Johnson, according to your complaint, Mr. Birch owes you for a loan. The loan was for bail money.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Birch says it was a nice gesture, but there was never a loan.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's up to me to find out the truth, right?
You're right.
Because I know the truth. So I have a few questions for you, Mr. Birch. What were you in jail for?
Traffic.
What, you were making traffic?
No, a ticket, unpaid ticket.
Huh?
Unpaid ticket.
An unpaid traffic ticket? What kind of traffic tickets?
More than one.
Look, don't look down. Look over here, because, Mr. Birch, let's go back a second. How many children are in your family?
I have 2 brothers, 1 sister.
And where does your mom live?
My mom lives in Georgia.
Is she a good mom?
Yes.
You think your mother is a truth machine? Could your mother always tell when the children were telling a lie or telling the truth? Is she smart?
Not all the time.
I am.
Kimberly Johnson says former friend Michael Birch owes for a loan for bail.
How long were you in jail for a traffic ticket?
Not 4 or 5 hours.
And tell me how you came to be placed in jail.
Well, there was a warrant for my arrest, which I didn't know about.
And what was the nature of your traffic infraction, sir?
Unpaid parking tickets. I ran a couple lights in a hurry. Speeding, a couple cases.
Now, how old were these tickets, Mr. Birch?
One was maybe a year old.
Why didn't you pay it?
Time passed by. I couldn't in the moment.
So I assume at some point they revoked your license.
Yes.
And when was that?
Around March.
And you continued to drive the car.
Yes.
Which you know is a crime.
Yes.
In what month were you finally stopped?
July.
Now, how do you know Miss Johnson?
Best friends for like 3 or 4 years.
How did you meet her?
I met her at the movies one night. Led to a very great relationship with her and I. Best friends for 4 years. I would say more than just a best friend relationship, as in we were like brothers, sisters.
Good. So that when you were arrested in July because you were a deadbeat with regard to these assorted violations involving your car, how many phone calls were you allowed?
I can make the phone calls out from a jail as many as I want.
How many did you make?
I made one.
Who did you make it to?
My best friend Kim.
Did you ask her how she was feeling?
No.
Did you say, did you have a good day?
No.
Did you say, I'm in jail?
Yes.
Did you say, can you bail me out?
No.
Did she say, how can I help you?
Yes.
Now, when you called her, Mr. Birch, from jail, I want you to try to think and get into yourself, sir. What did you hope would happen?
That she'd be there for me like best friends are supposed to do.
But I don't need any editorializing. You called her because you wanted her to bail you out.
Yes.
Now, these weren't her parking tickets, were they?
No.
She wasn't driving with a suspended license, was she?
No.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Birch?
I work at a retail store, fashion design, clothing.
And before that, what were you doing?
I worked for Singular Wireless.
What did Miss Johnson do for a living?
Miss Johnson currently in school. She also worked at a swimming facility. She was a swim teacher.
So she was supporting herself while she was going to school and paying for school?
Yes.
What I want to know is, why would you think that somebody should spend $500 to get you out of a predicament that you got yourself into when she is supporting herself, trying to better herself by going to school, and you're doing nothing but taking care of yourself?
Well, it's not about whether she would do it. In this case, your best friends, regardless if it's just she or a male, you're supposed to be there for your best friend regardless of the situation it is. In this case, and since she's a girl, I'm assuming that she is innocent. No, I didn't make her pay the money. I didn't put a gun to her head. She chose to. This is my best friend.
I want you to look at his face. Do you know how disgusted he is with you? I think it's very nice that she took out the money from her ATM, from her bank account, or wrote out money, a check from her checking account, or borrowed money from her line of credit to go down to make sure that you didn't spend more than 5 hours in jail. And the next thing that should have happened was that you go to your ATM, to your line of credit, to your checking account, take out the money and say, thanks for being there for me as my friend, and here's the money back. Don't you get that? Don't you get that? $500?
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500, that's all.
Everybody's excused, you may step out. This is case number 374 on the calendar in the matter of Blankenship versus DeFrancesco. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Blankenship, according to what I read, you and the defendant met at a bar, and he came home with you the same evening and stayed for a while. And according to your complaint, you had an agreement with him that he was going to pay you rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he stayed with you, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. He didn't pay any rent. And then you got into some sort of an altercation with him and claimed that he assaulted you.
Yes.
Mr. DeFrancesco says there was never an agreement to pay you rent, that he spent 5 months in jail because you made false charges of assault against him. He was ultimately released, and you want a certain amount of money for rent and $1,500 for this alleged assault.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. On what day did you meet Mr. DeFrancesco?
It was the beginning of May.
In the evening?
Yes.
And you met him for the first time?
Yes, I did.
And he came home with you?
Yeah, we ended up going to my house. We were going to have a drink at my house. 3 days later, he's still in my home.
Okay, 3 days later, did you say? Well, 3 days later, I assume you let him stay. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, tell me about this agreement that you allege about rent.
Well, as I said, 3 days later, he's still at my house. He informed me that he didn't have any place to go. He had just gotten out of jail, which I wish I had known that, or else if I had, I wouldn't have let him come to my home. Told me he had nowhere to go, and we had both decided, let's try a fast, instant relationship, see what happens. Told him he wasn't going to live with me for nothing. He said he was a hard worker. He had no problem paying me $125 a week. The 30 days that he was with me, he worked maybe 2 days. All of his money went on cocaine. So that's what basically he felt that he was going to be doing at my house. And towards the end of it, I said I had enough.
Now, towards the end of it, I had enough is what I want to hear about, the night of this alleged assault. I'd like you to tell me in your own words what happened, Miss Blankenship.
We had been drinking at my house that day.
You do a lot of drinking?
Yeah, we had been out.
And he does a lot of drinking?
Yeah.
Do you also do drugs or you just drink?
I didn't get back into drugs until I hooked up with Bobby.
So then the answer is for the 30 days that you were together in your house, you were both drinking and doing drugs?
Yes.
And I assume he was purchasing the drugs?
No, I was. He didn't have any money.
Okay, so you were purchasing the drugs and giving it to him?
Basically, we were doing them together.
No. If you bought them and gave them to him. Is that what you're telling me? Oh. So tell me about the last night that you were together, the night of this alleged assault.
We had been out at one of the local bars drinking. We got I believe it was a 12-pack, went back to my house. When that was all done, we went back out drinking. I suggested that we get something to eat. I was going to get Chinese food. He said, fine, went home. I was getting the food ready, putting it on plates and everything. I turned around. Bobby's leaning up against the counter with his pants down to the floor, offering me something other to eat than the Chinese food.
And?
I was quite appalled by this whole thought at the moment. I went into the living room. I sat down. I figured I'd try and calm down for a few minutes. I went into the kitchen. He's now eating the Chinese food.
By this time, he's dressed himself?
Yeah.
And he's eating the Chinese food?
Yes.
And what happened?
I asked him if he wanted some rice with the food, and I threw a box of beef fried rice at him.
So you assaulted him with the rice?
No, I threw the rice at the floor.
No, your hand motion was...
Well, I threw the rice, but it wasn't at him physically, it was at the floor.
Well, that's not what you say in your complaint, by the way. You say that you started to throw the Chinese food at him.
In his direction.
In his direction. Okay. And what happened after you were throwing the Chinese food in his direction?
Well, I ended up asking him if he needed some sweet sauce with it. After that, we ended up getting into an argument. It boiled down to I was sitting at a chair at the kitchen table trying to figure out what we were going to do with this relationship. We got into an argument. He lunged over the kitchen table, grabbed me by the throat, and started to strangle me.
Miss Blankenship, you left something out, madam, that you put in your complaint. And that was that there was a time that Mr. DeFrancesco just said, I want to get out of here. And that was before you started with the food fight.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to go to the door to leave and get his clothes and leave. And you say in your complaint that you prevented him from leaving.
I, for whatever stupid reasons, didn't want him to take his clothes at the time. I felt that he owed me money for being there, and I figured that we'd straighten it out at some other time.
So you blocked the door?
I blocked the door.
And it was after you blocked the door that he lunged at you?
Shortly after that.
Now, you called the police and had him arrested?
When I could get to a phone, I called the police. He ripped the phones out of the wall.
Now, when did you finally get to the police?
After I got his hands off my throat.
Okay. So he took his hands off your throat, you called the police, and I assume you let him leave at that point.
I didn't let him leave. He went running out the door. This is after he pulled the alarm system out of the wall. I tried calling 911 from 2 telephones. He kept pulling the phones out of my hand, pressing the off button.
At that point, I assume, Miss Blankenship, that you were ready to let him leave.
Yeah.
Now, what hospital did you go to?
I didn't.
So if you didn't go to a hospital, I assume you weren't injured.
I was injured, but there wasn't anything that I felt that they could do to me that was going to make the marks go away.
How were you injured?
By him strangling me. I had marks on my arm, on my face.
Did you take any photographs
of it? I
have
have the police report and pictures.
I'd like to see.
Plus, I didn't go right to the hospital, or I didn't go to the hospital because the police wanted me to go to the police station. I was down there for about 3-4 hours.
I noticed that in your statement to the police, you didn't tell the police that Mr. DeFrancesco wanted to leave, or that the mess that they observed in the kitchen of the Chinese food all over the place was the result of you throwing it all over the place. How come you didn't tell them that?
Al, I don't recall whether I did or didn't.
You didn't. Trust me, you didn't.
Well, regardless of that, he has no right to try to strangle me.
You had no right to try to keep him in the house.
Oh, I didn't physically block his entrance from
That's
leaving.
what you
The
said.
door
That's
was
exactly.
right there.
That's exactly what you said.
I stopped him from getting his clothing, not from walking
No,
out the
that's
door.
not what you said, madam. You said, when I returned, I was still so angry that I started to throw food at him. He was going to get his stuff and leave, but I was too angry to let him leave with his clothes. I blocked the door.
I blocked the door from him getting his clothes in the bedroom.
So why didn't you let him get his clothes? You were both too drunk.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Honor, she assaulted me on other occasions, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I don't hit women.
Mr. DeFrancesco, how come you spent 5 months in jail?
I was on probation, but I was charged with assault with intent to murder, and intimidating a witness.
And later today,
I was trying to do her a favor. That's it.
You did do her a favor.
Yeah.
Then what are you bothering me for?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Cindy Blankenship says ex-boyfriend Robert DeFrancesco owes for strangling her. Robert says Cindy threw Chinese food at him.
Madam, you'd been drinking, according to you, for days. Drinking and doing drugs for days. All right, I'm prepared to hear you, Mr. DeFrancesco.
Your Honor, I first met Cindy. She's right, I did
I
get out
heard
of jail.
that how you met her. You met her at a bar. You went home with her and you stayed too long.
No, I went home with her, and that night I left. At 5 in the morning, some other gentleman called, and I had to leave, and she brought me to my brother's house. And then the next day, I went to see her. We did some gardening work, whatever. And
Could you look at me instead of looking over there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Off and on, we stayed together for about 3 weeks. I'd see her for a few days. It would be okay. Then she'd start yelling at me for stupid little things, and it would get all crazy. And I'd say, you know, I'm going to leave. So one time she called the police, and I'd already left.
But he was trying to run my household.
Could you look at me when you're speaking, sir?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. When the cops came, they just came because she just wanted me to leave, and I'd already left. So I told her, I said, you know, I'm on probation and stuff like that. I can't have any problems with the police, so I don't think this is going to work out. So to make a long story short, we'd gone back and forth.
You're still looking over there?
Back and forth, and then another time the police came to get me. You know, the same thing. I just left. I had my bag of clothes. It was raining out. I left.
You shouldn't be drinking with her, sir. I mean, but the problem is you're two drunks living together.
Well, Your Honor, the day in question of the day that I got arrested, I was working all day. I was working all day. She was at the bar. She was supposed to be going to get her motorcycle license or whatever, but it got done early. She came home. So then I got upset with her. I'd already told her a few times, you know, if this continues, we're not going to stay together. You know, I can't handle this. You're too abusive.
She
assaulted me. Your Honor, she assaulted me on other occasions, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I don't hit women. You know, she was hitting me.
Mr. DeFrancesco, how come you spent 5 months in jail? Were you on probation or parole?
I was on probation, but I was charged with assault with intent to murder, and intimidating a witness. Okay. That's what I was charged with.
Okay. And those charges were ultimately tossed?
They were dropped because she pled the fifth, because she didn't want to perjure herself.
Well, for whatever reason, they should have been dropped a long time ago. What had you just been released from jail for?
Assault and battery, malicious damage. I got into a big fight at a bar. I did like 2 years.
Mr. DeFrancesco, may I suggest to you, sir, that you are not a good drunk? Do you understand? You're not a good drunk. And if you're going to continue to drink, I wouldn't take up with somebody who is also a bad drunk. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. How old are you, sir?
I'm 42 years old.
You look every day of it, Mr. DeFrancesco. You're getting old before your time, sir.
Well, Your Honor, I did try to leave. That's why, you know, that's why I feel it's bogus.
Mr. Blankenship, you don't have a case. He didn't try to murder you. You were two drunks.
He didn't try to murder me, Your Honor. Why did they charge him with attempted murder from the marks all over me?
Listen,
why did I call 911?
I'm telling you why you called 911, because he finally got fed up with you, and he probably did try to choke you. That's why. That's not attempted murder, just like you throwing Chinese food at him is not assault. You want to drink and do drugs with somebody who also drinks and does drugs? That's what happens. What are you bothering me for? Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I tried to get out of the relationship, and it just ended up being violent.
It's obviously started a different way from him dropping his drawers to the floor and so on, you know, making any type of sexual advances that he wanted to happen. So, I mean, it's insane.
Those are personal issues. That's stuff that normal people do, you know. It's just that it just got carried away.
Him and I being together, drinking, you know, not knowing what kind of relationship we were going to get into. So I wish it had never started from the beginning.
Of course, if you drink and drug, it's going to cause problems, you know, but what she stated, you know, that just shows it's one of her traits, you know what I mean? She just talks crazy.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Trathan versus Riffett, step forward, please.
Maintenance technician Joseph Trathan is suing his ex-girlfriend, inventory auditor Joelle Riffett, for the balance on a Dodge Stratus. Joelle claims the vehicle is Joseph's responsibility.
Mr. Trathan, according to your complaint, the defendant, who was your girlfriend, you have a child together, owes you for some money for a car.
Yes.
And Miss Riffett, I don't know. I tried to figure out her answer, but it was all kind of very soft. She says you agreed to assume the losses for the car when you sold it. However, we're going to ferret out the truth. When did you purchase this car along with Miss Riffett? What year?
I co-signed, I believe, in 01.
When did you buy the car?
June of 2000.
What kind of car did you buy?
A Dodge Stratus.
It was your car?
Yes.
And he co-signed the loan because you couldn't get it without his co-signature, is that right?
We actually were both on the loan equally. It was...
Because you couldn't get it by yourself?
It was a lower interest that way.
Because you couldn't get it by yourself?
Yes.
And you kept the car from June of 2000 until when?
April 2004.
And what did you do with it?
Well, what happened was I left the house. I left him in October, and I tried maintaining the payments.
October of 2003?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was doing it. I had an apartment on my own, and I was trying to raise both my children, and I was having a hard time struggling making the payments because they were $330. Okay. And we had discussed it, and I asked him if he can help me out by taking the car because I can't afford it no more, so I can get a less expensive car. And the day before I gave it back to him, I called him and said, hey, Nissan called me, and they said they got a car for me for $4,500, which made my payments to be $170. Are you still willing to take it? Because I still had one more day to tell Nissan I didn't want it if he didn't agree. So he said, yeah, that's fine. We made arrangements. I dropped it off the car, and I put both sets of keys underneath the driver's seat. And after that, after I dropped it off on the 30th, I thought everything was done and fine. We were on good terms. I wasn't expecting any of this.
How much child support does he pay?
He pays me $205 now, but at the time...
Don't tap.
Okay.
$205 a what?
A week.
And how much child support do you get from the father of your other child?
$100 a week.
So you get twice that from him?
Now.
What were you getting before?
He was only giving me $100 a week.
And when did it double? Put your hand down.
September.
You're the girlfriend?
I'm the fiance, ma'am.
Fiance. We don't need you. We don't need to hear from you.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Good.
On September 27th, we went to court, and that's when they distinguished $205 a week.
Now, sir, Ms. Riffett says that you agreed to take... Stop shaking your head. You look like making me seasick. Ms. Riffett says that you agreed to take the car and sell it. I assume sell it. Is that right?
No.
Well, tell me what you agreed to do.
I agreed to try to help her sell the car. I talked to my neighbors, some people at work, try to get rid of the car if I could.
Well, when she told you she wanted to get rid of the car, what did you say to her?
I said I would try... Yeah, I would say I would try to help you get rid of the car if I could. If I can't, that's your responsibility. It was your car. I'm not going to take the loss.
You told her that? You told her those things?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said it's not my...
And what happened when she dropped the car off with the keys at your house?
Well, I didn't want to take on the responsibility of the extra car payment, or if I couldn't make it, going against my credit. So I gave myself like a month time limit to try to get rid of it because my neighbor was talking to her mom about trying to buy it. And then she got a hold of me. I couldn't sell to her, so I went to CarMax, see how much they could offer to me for it.
Why did you try to sell it privately, put an ad in the paper?
Because I didn't want to continue making the payments. And also, if she's saying she couldn't afford it, when she moved out of the house, we split the equity in the house. I gave her a $10,000 check for the equity of the house several months later, which she knew she was going to get money for that.
You shouldn't have taken the car, sir. You have to have a contract with her.
I didn't take it. She left it on me.
Not have taken the car. You should have taken it back to her with the keys and said, this is your problem. This is your car. You've had it for 4 years. I'm not doing anything with it. But once you assume the responsibility by trying to sell it and then going ahead and selling it to somebody else, you can't come back against her for the difference. You didn't have a contract with her.
I was trying to do her a favor. That's it.
That's fine. You did her a favor. You did do her a favor.
Yeah.
Then what are you bothering me for?
Because, and then she's saying she couldn't afford it, but she gave it to me in April? That's 5 months later.
You have to have a contract with her. An agreement, oral, written. And the oral or written agreement says, if you sell the car at a loss, I will pay the difference. You didn't have that contract with her.
No, but I know I couldn't let it sit there and not have anyone make payments on it. She could give me half the money.
What happens, sir, is that after she stops making payments, they're going to repossess the car. If she let that happen. Now, she may not have let that happen because she has a job and she doesn't want her credit destroyed. But once you assume the responsibility by selling the car without a contract, oral or written, with her, you cannot then come to court and say, well, she should have done this. She should have made the payments. She should not have put me in that position. She should not have dropped the car off at my house. She dropped the car off, you took the car, and you sold it. That's your problem.
But I was trying to do the right thing.
Good.
And I didn't want it affecting my credit. It would have been too late if I would have waited for something like that.
I have to tell you, sir, I'm very sympathetic with you. You should not have done it. This is a court. Courts deal with contracts. You did not have a contract with her.
I have contracts on how much I paid
Sorry.
on it.
Why does that excuse you? They step out. Down in the
Will be